What is up, YouTube? So before we get into this offensive scheme, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to play the YouTube algorithm, ask you to drop a like. If you could do that, I'd very much appreciate it. I hate doing this whole sellout bullshit, but... Alright, enough of this nonsense. We'll get right into it. Alright, YouTube. So, today we're going to be looking at a mini scheme offense from the New England Patriots offensive playbook. If you're anything like me so far in Madden 21, you've had some issues moving the ball. The man defense is killing you. It's not like last year. You can't throw the dots. You can't throw the corners. The cornerbacks are jumping, picking everything off, playing underneath it. So I've had to adapt my gameplay and really learn something new to be successful. So what I've been doing to go about that, like I started off losing games, right? I was probably 20-20 or something like that. My record was terrible. I was getting frustrated. And since I've implemented this little mini scheme, it's basically kind of reminiscent of the Pats' actual offense, playing safe, little dump-offs, running the ball out of tight sets, running the ball out of shotgun, looking for underneath routes, and just consistently moving the ball forward without making mistakes. So the main scheme is out of gun split close pats, but obviously developing a run game is very important anyway. So I usually will start off a drive. I play Mutt nowadays. I sold out. I play Mutt. So I have Cam Akers at running back, but it doesn't matter who you have. If you're playing Rags, Mutt, same thing. So the I-form tight stretch is going to be stretched no matter what, right? It's going to be good. Hit a little wiggle. I mean, of course, like when I say it's going to be good, it's not good, but you know how it goes. The stretch is a stretch. You're going to make usually going to make positive yards on it. You get the outside, wiggle the defender, get past them. Easy money. So always you're going to be incorporating that in your game. When you're not incorporating that in your game, I am sitting in gun split close pat almost every single play. I think it has everything you need to dissect the defense, especially against the current meta, which is cover one, robber press, out of dime or dollar or the nickel version of it. So there's a couple plays you're going to be looking at here. You can change your audibles. I really don't. I kind of know what I'm going to be doing anyways. There's a few audibles you can have, but so the plays we're going to be looking at is PAY shot, HB power O, X drag trail, mesh, and the slip screen, right? So let's start with where is it? Oh, in Z spot. We're gonna start with Z spot here. My bad. So you can basically your first read on this play is gonna be that running back flat, and your second read is a really tough read to make, but the second read is gonna be that corner from the tight end. So what you want to be doing here is thinking about where you want your running back to go. Typically, it's going to be on the wide side of the field because you want to have more space for him to make that play in the flats and swerve outside. So since I'm in the middle of the field here, it doesn't really matter. We'll call it random defense. And the only hot route I do here is I hot route A to a streak. This gives Burkhead in the flat a little bit of extra room. And this is going to be a very easy gain. Tap X for the rat catch, an easy gain for 5 to 6 yards. And if you're on the wide side of the field, you'll be getting more yards. So let's move the ball. So typically, like I said, you run it on the wide side of the field. Cheers. Hot route A to a streak. Look for Burkhead. Tap X for the rat catch. Wiggle the defender, few yards. Now, I'm going to show the tight end route. This is a very tough route, and it's very a deceptive route, too, because in Mutt, I would love to be able to throw this corner like last year. I'd love to be able to dot this corner to the tight end, but a lot of times it gets picked off, so just be very hesitant on that. You're really, 85% of the time, you're looking for the running back on this route. And if you have somebody fast, like Cam Akers, or if you have If you spent $1,000 on your team, you have Barry Sanders or I don't know, Warwick Dunn, you'll be getting yards. You'll be killing it. Tap X for the rack. Just make sure you do that. All right, so the next play we're going to look at is PAY shot. You have it in the audibles here. So this is what the play looks like stock, PAY shot. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this. It was in Miami's offense. It's in New England's offense. A very, very solid play. Now, there's two ways to run this, right? If they're not running press man, then you can run it like this. If they're not running press man and you have a fast tight end, this is how you run the play. You streak B, and then you leave it stock. And what this is going to do is the B streak is going to clear out the deep safeties, and you're going to have those two crossing routes to hit. You pick it at your leisure, right? You're watching the user defender, seeing if he goes left, you throw right, vice versa. And it's a very, very easy 40-yard. I mean, if I get hit out of a sack, then it's not. It's usually a very easy 40-yard gain minimum. Oh, let me reset it. PAY shot, streak B. Back up. Hit A on the cross. Good amount of yards. Now, if you're playing against sweats, that's not going to work. Because it's going to be press manned and they're never going to get open. So the way you counteract that is instead of putting B on a streak, you put B on a slant route and then you put A on a streak. Now, you're almost never looking at the tight end here. And he's usually going to be too slow to get past the Jeremy Chins, the fast safeties. He's never going to beat that deep. That's just to clear space for the other two routes. Now, what makes us beat press man is the motion slant. You have to motion slant this guy, otherwise it's never beating the press man. It's too slow. So motion it, hike it, and then it offers the exact same concept. You get to choose which person you throw it to, right? The user's either going to go left or the user's going to go right, and you get to choose whether you want to hit. Whether you want to hit, I guess in this case, Sanu, or you want to hit Edelman. Alright, there we go. That's a good little vision of it. So the next play, yeah, like I said, basically just motion slant to beat the man meta defense, which is cover one robber press. This will kill it. Then the only read you're gonna have to make out of this is where is their user going. If their user goes left, you pass it to the guy crossing right. If their user goes right, then you can usually beat them to the B slant because it'll be wide open off the press. It will beat the press man. Do it one more time. Obviously, you can hit it earlier if it's open in the middle. Next play. The next play I'm going to look at is the HBY power, or what is it called? HB power O. So this is just a simple shotgun run. It's going to work sometimes, sometimes it's not. It's basically just to keep the defense honest, because you want to be able to sit and gun split the entirety of the time, mixing up all these plays, calling him constantly, so that way he has no idea where you're going to go. And occasionally, usually what the meta is right now, right? Occasionally you're going to bust a big one with this, because the meta defense is to come out and dime or dollar as soon as you see somebody in a shotgun passing formation, and they play that man cover one robber press. So having a shotgun run that you're comfortable running every once in a while to throw them off and keep them honest and keep them out of that defense is the best thing you can do. And if they do stay in that defense and you run this, you will absolutely torch them. I'm gonna go down here or get rid of it. This video is going a little bit longer than I wanted to because I'm trying to collect my thoughts. New play. So we looked at that. Mesh. We'll go to mesh now. Mesh is another play out of the gun split. Random play. Now, this is the similar concept to the gun split close the PAY cross one, except for it plays lower, right? So you can set up the PAY cross by running mesh. If you run mesh a couple times and you hit these drags, it will force the defense to change their cloud flats to hard flats, right? Because you'll be hitting these drags real low and just chunking them for yards. So what you're trying to do with this mesh play is set it up so that they're playing. That's a bad throw. Set it up so that they're playing hard flats, and then once they start playing hard flats, throw another one. Once they start playing hard flats and shading underneath, that's what sets you up to hit the deep crossers, because all it takes after that is audible to PAY shot. You run mesh a couple times, then you can hit them with this, back it up, and then because they're in hard flats, they're no longer guarding that crosser. I hope this is making sense. This is my first trying to break down my thought process for a mini scheme. And then the probably the final play I'm basically running like 6 plays max, and I'm climbing in head-to-head seasons. I think all these plays are very effective, and you're gonna be winning games. I've climbed up into the All-Star division in top 3% of players, and all I'm doing is playing solid defense and not throwing picks by playing this offense real safe. So the next play you're going to want is the slip screen. You can run it to either side. Once again, I like to run it to the wide side of the field, and you want to be able to sub in your fastest running back here. So like if your standard running back, your starting running back is here, when you want to run it to the right side of the field, just sub him in over here before the play, flip it, and then run the slip screen. The slip screen is so much better this year than it was last year. The players actually get off of their blocks and get away from running into the back of their blockers. Tap it, hold down X, set up the block, wiggle, 8 or 10 yards. So that's kind of the gist of the scheme, right? And the cool thing is, so say you want to have the spot play, the Z spot play. So you just call Z spot or audible to Z spot, flip the play so you can get the running back in position on the wide side of the field. Then the hot route, like I said, streak A. And then there you have it. Tap X. If he's a little bit faster than Burkhead is, it's 5-6 yards. So in combination, mixing up these plays has given me a lot of success. And you can always run the halfback runs at a power, the HP power, a couple yards. You're basically just trying to play the most annoying offense you can and not make mistakes. A lot of these routes are very simple reads, unlikely to get picked. You'll be taking 3 a lot of the time, and when you can get 7, it's great, but you're going to be relying on defense and not making mistakes, because a lot of the people who are playing head-to-head right now in MUT are trying to play like last year. They're throwing a lot of picks. They're getting frustrated. They're giving the ball up, and you're not going to play like that. You're going to play safe, and you're going to win games. And if you mix in these core bunch of passing plays out of gun split, along with the I-form tight stretch here and there, halfback dive, things like that, a couple other, whatever your other go-to couple plays are, whether it be like RPOs or however you guys like to run your offense, if you mix in this solid set of plays, you will have success. I guarantee it. Just make smart reads. Don't get greedy. Take the underneath shit. You'll be winning games. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you guys. I think I've already held your attention a little bit too long. Obviously, if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll end on that note. Thank you guys. Comments, supports, criticisms, throw them down in the comments. I'll answer it.